Welcome to Live Words. So we have Fresh Boy Reese in the building.
Rain Canaan.
We have Rain Canaan in the building. Holding the camera right now is your producer, Double E. We also have another guest. Joe is in the building. And we're actually sitting here right now getting ready to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with your music, some things that you aspire to do in the future. I know you have some shows coming up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about first, who you are, a little bit about your artistry, what you aspire to do, those types of things, and we'll just kind of pass around the room and let other people ask questions and get to know who Masta K is.
Alright, well, my name is Masta K. I wanted to create a self-employed business basically called The Dynasty. I actually wanted to be a big company. So that way artists have a label to go to where they can actually express themselves instead of being always told like what to write about, because to me artistic freedom is the most important thing right now. I chose not to go to a label because I just feel like with the way the industry is, I mean, we all see how the industry is, we all talk about it, a lot of underground rappers, talking about like how, the industry is just full of crap and, they're just trying to control artists and like they manufacture the same type of things. I just want something like fresh and new. When I first started out, it was because a lot of the artists I looked up to, Tupac Shakur, like Heavy D, DMX, and a lot of the old school artists, a lot of them are either stopped or dead or in jail. And, when I felt like hip hop was starting to, phase out, starting to die, I felt like, well, damn, like, no one else is going to step into the plate. So, like, if I'm not part of the solution, I'm part of the problem. So that's really how, I aspired to get into what I wanted to get into.
What types of things would you say best describes you as an artist?
I think in terms of style, I feel like I've been compared to like a lot of like the old like 90s era type of hip hop. I guess I'm a little more core with my lyrics because to me lyricism is the most important thing. Lyricism I think is the bold and super rap, because to me when you're rapping, rap is like a verb. It's not just a genre. Hip hop is a genre. Rap is the verb. Rap is, as Carol has once said, something you do. So to me, like, you don't go into like an FYE and see a category for singing. Like, so to me, like, lyricism is the most important thing. I'm a lyrical artist, and that's, I think, the best way to describe it right now.
When did you start rapping?
When I was 13, and the funny thing about that is, actually when I started, I didn't think I was gonna pursue it seriously. So I would say, like, when I was 17, I really started to get deeper into it.
How old are you now?
I'm 26.
So you've been rapping for about 9 years?
Yeah.
Right on, right on. Anybody else?
Who's your favorite MC?
Of all time or living right now?
Of all time.
Of all time? Tupac Shakur.
Tupac.
It's probably a typical answer, but that's it.
Why Tupac though?
Why Tupac? Because I felt like he epitomizes what the soul of an artist is. Like, he didn't care, he really truly didn't care what other people had to say. And I think that he had a way of displaying his point clearer than anybody else. Some people will argue like he's overrated, he wasn't the most, crazy and flow or this, that, or the third, but to me, what makes an artist is painting the picture. And I felt like he did that better than anybody else.
I agree.
I got another question. Do you have any labels come at you?
I've had some indie labels come at me. I really can't remember the names of them. I've had managers approach me, after a show and stuff, and that was kind of weird because the first thing they want to do is just like, hey, we like your sound, but we want to change it. Yeah. And I'm kind of like, that's kind of weird. Isn't that backwards? Like, you came to me because you like my sound. Yeah. Why did you change it? So, yeah, I've had that happen before.
What would you tell someone that's new coming into this? What would you tell them? What would be the words?
I would ask them if they're serious about it. I have, and you and me have had this discussion before too, I feel like a lot of artists just don't have the drive. And I feel like if you don't have drive, you don't have what it takes to make it here. Everybody always talks about, you know, lazy artists, how like we don't do this, that, and the third. And I think in a way, that's kind of why a lot of these record labels, you know, they try to screw artists over. Because to be fair and honest, artists aren't always the most dependable of people. So, you know, with that being said, I think an artist has to have drive, and I also think they have to have an awareness of danger. They have to have like a bit of street smarts and book smarts. Because if you're not, you don't know about these contracts, you don't know what you're signing, you don't know what you're doing. I can't tell you how many opportunities I've had to perform at venues where it wasn't beneficial for me. And I think an artist, if anything else, especially being new, definitely needs to be wary and definitely needs to make sure that if they're going to do this, they better stick to it. Because if not, it'll break you.
There's a lot of rappers today that unfortunately sound alike. If you were to meet a rapper that has everything that you feel like that a rapper is supposed to have, you know, bars, lyricism, flow, delivery, and everything like that, but they still sound like everybody else, what would your approach be to a situation like that?
I think
Difficult thing that, you know.
I have actually been in a situation like that, and I usually question them. I'm like, well, why do you do it that way? Because they usually have a reason, and a lot of times it has to deal with mass appeal. They think that that's what the audience wants, and so to them, they're willing to dumb it down to have a wider appeal.
And it's weird because I've tried, and I find actually the hardest song for me to write is actually, you know, like a club song, like an entertainment song. So I find when I do that, I don't rap about like, you know, like the drugs, money, or anything like that. I just rap about like how my skills as an MC and how like
Kind of like, you know, because hip hop is very boastful. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm better than you type of thing, you know, approach to that. I've done stuff like that, but I think that kind of helps me in a way not dummy my lyricism down. Because then I feel like, well, if I'm trying to prove in this song how good an MC I am, then that actually kind of allows me to step it up in that particular song in a certain way. I might dummy the hook down because that has to be, especially when you're making a club, it has to be catchy. But, you know, and for the most part, when it comes to clubs, that's what they listen to anyway. It's just the hook, the beat, and anything else in between isn't brought up.
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's like mass appeal. The hook is dumbed down for mass appeal, right? So have you done that before?
Yeah, that I've done. I've dumbed down the hook, but as far as like dumbing down like a whole song,
no.
I just don't have it in me, and I've been criticized for that.
Why?
I think every artist has their approach, and I think when they see someone doing something
different,
like a bit different, it kind of like intimidates them. I don't know. I really don't know why.
That was a good answer though.
And a lot of people feel that if you don't sound like what's in, if you will, the first thing they say, you know, excuse my language, but that's ass. That's like the phrase to say. You know what I mean? Like that's corny, that's whack. You know what I mean? Because you have to be like punchline heavy, or you know what I mean, cursing every other word. Unfortunately, a lot of times people listen to the music. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's an unfortunate thing. I mean, because some of y'all who are lyrical, like namely you know, you're a lyrical artist. So it's interesting sometimes that you can still gravitate people because of the things that you may be talking about. But I don't know, like people just like to hear all those curse words and like to hear a whole bunch of nonsense in order to feel like the music is good. You know, and I know you're not that type of artist, so I know it has to sometimes be a little bit nervy or difficult to push to that next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of that. So.
Also for me, like to me, I think one reason I feel like I can't afford to dumb down is because my point in getting into this was to bring, in a way, back the lyrical hip hop. Not necessarily bring back that era, because I feel like if we're gonna be progressive, we have to move forward. But I don't feel that by dummying down our lyrics that we're moving forward at all. Like, it used to be the hip hop thing to do, to use lyricism to generate our intelligence. And because for a long time, you know, with hip hop being like a racial thing, we were seen as not intelligent. And so it's just like, to me, that was our way of proving that. And I kind of feel like now the roles are reversed. So I feel like by me dummying down, I am actually disproving my own point. And I'm actually going against the whole basic reason I got into this in the first place.
So, what do you think Run DMC had on hip hop, like their type of rapping, like fuck the cops and all that type of shit? You know what I mean? What do you think that had on the impact on hip hop?
I think it was more their mentality. I mean, they were really going against the grain. They were one of the few, actually I believe, the only ones at the time that were using like, you know, that was really like hardcore with it, and also using like rock and instrumental beats, because no one else was doing that. They're just like, no, hip hop is just drums, you know, a little bit of melody, this and that. But they were like, no, we're gonna use like rock and melody. We're gonna show that we can be, you know, just as badass, just as into it, and still just as lyrical.
So you think they had a good impact on hip hop?
Oh yeah, definitely. And as far as, you know, what we're able to do and, you know, how far we're able to go. And also, I also feel like the difference between that era and this one is back then they were telling their story, whereas now we're glamorizing the story. Because like not everybody who raps about that, especially now, has lived that life. In fact, I would say most of the artists now haven't lived that life. You can't say the same thing about Dr. Dre, Run DMC, Ice Cube, or any of these people. Like, these guys were living in a time where, you know, it wasn't where blacks, and I mean, it still goes on today, blacks are being harassed all the time, but definitely more so back then. You didn't have the Facebook and the social media blowing up every time a cop did something messed up. Like, no, that crap was covered up. How was the way to expose that? Hip hop. What was the way they did that with? Hip hop. Hip hop was our response to what was going on.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's so true.
Absolutely true.
Well, we have one more question for you, and then we want to, you know, hear some bars. What is it that, you know, you get ready to work on? Like, tell us some of your projects that's coming up, some shows. How can people follow you? You know, that kind of stuff, get in contact with you.
I have, you know, Twitter and Instagram, and a Facebook, of course. Everything is just like, you know, /Masta K. For Twitter, it's a bit different. It's KAY instead of just, you know, -K. As far as what I'm working on, I want to do one last music video for this current album that I have, which is Legend of a True Fighter, which you can find on iTunes and Google Play and Amazon and all the major social media sites, especially Spotify. You know, I wanted to make sure that this album was really accessible. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, you can still get Legend of a True Fighter. And of course, we have the hard copies too, which you know, anybody can email me about, you know, it's dynastycorporations@mk@gmail.com. So if you want a hard copy, which is actually double disc, you know, that's when they hit me up. The hard copy is obviously a bit more expensive. As far as to what I'm working on, like I said, I want to do one last music video for this one for a song called Becoming. And that's going to be the last music video I want to do for Legend of True Fighter, because this year, around August or September of 2015, I'm coming out with an album called Soul of a Man. And it's more about, like, whereas a lot of my albums talk about like things I've been doing in the past, this one's more current. This one, like, is more reflective of things that I have been through in my career. Because even though a lot of people will be like, well, you know, you're just an indie rapper, it's just like, but it's still a career. Like, you know, I've still been through things that I've already seen, like the venue politics and the label politics, which is kind of why I've made the decisions that I've made in it. And I think, especially being an indie artist, like, one thing I love is like you have more of a connection with the fans almost in a way. I get to like actually like respond to them on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, and it's a more intimate atmosphere that I'm comfortable with. And so Soul of a Man, that's the next big project. It's about, you know, just things I'm going through like currently in my life, and definitely you know, expansive with the lyricism and everything like that. I feel like it's more of a perfect blend in terms of like, you know, the club music. Actually, I have a little bit more entertainment stuff. It's actually more of an upbeat album. Because Legend of True Fighter was pretty dark for an album at the time.
Well, you do have a show coming up April 11th.
Yes, I do. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
I'm going to perform with
Tri-City Artist Showcase. Well, we're signing off, and any artist who's interested in being a special guest, we include a free single, as well as blasting on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You're an artist, so you can contact us at 215-796-9010, and you can also get in contact with Masta K at Twitter, you said,
Instagram
and Facebook. All right, come out with live words soon. Signing off.
Let's go. First they told me it's impossible. Then they told me I got a nice flow. And if you blow up, they're responsible. Even if they ain't even like you though. And in the concept, the quote, help you grow. That's when you hear that you got to work, you got to blow, cause you got to roll, you got to do this, you got to know. Well, screw it, they don't know what to talk about. They just like to yap and just run their mouth. I do this in the streets and parking lots, and booths and bars and stages, sparking hot. I knew it, that they change their minds a lot, but they're all in my way, ain't got time to stop. I knew that you don't have to get me high, cause I don't care no more. Yeah, I like your spot, I'm a juggernaut and you know it. My lyrics is more potent, and you flaunt your cash like you have a lot, but what you saying is not important. And you flaunt you have a lot, and you asking why he boasting. Then comes TK when I step on stage and watch the mic get roasting. What you want from me? You know I'm down to ride. What you want from me? You know I'll sit it right. What you want from me? You know I'm on the mic. What you want from me? I'ma burn it down tonight. Fakers, all the maker. 2/3 of our music waker. Take up back the sound and send it shaking through the ground. Cause you know that word for word. In hip hop, that's pound for pound. I'm probably the best around when I step into your town. Do word for word, how about flow for flow? Not screw punchlines, how about show for show? If I sound boastful and ignorant, it's cause I don't tell, I show. That's how you sound ridiculous when you cannot rhyme and glow. Talk about we lyricists, man, take your E and go. Now I know that y'all just felt the shit, like this is the hook gon' go. But see, just now I flipped the script. I lied to you, my bro. That's what's real MCs can feel when we hear what these rappers blow. They brag and brag while their skills are sad. Now watch the real thing glow. We be like, what you want from me? You know I'm down to ride. What you want from me? You know I'll sit it right. What you want from me? You know I'm on the mic. What you want from me? I'ma burn it down. And these people, man, they got to go. They acting like we homies. I find it all so laughable, cause I know that all them phony. These chicks find me attractable. They say they wanna hold me. They be like, hey, I don't have a man. Whatever, chick, you hold me. I don't even know why I take the time to address you assholes in my line. I guess cause you take up my space and mine when I see your face on my daily grind. But I'm the one among the bunch. I don't push, I shove, I don't act crunch. And I pack the punch that will punch the pack. Who thought they could rap, but their act was whack. Use a butternut and you know it. Your song sounds like a child wrote it. And I'm proud to take my music in, cause it's packed with all you rodents. I step on stage to terminate you streams of swarming locusts, as your career just disappears and smoke like hocus pocus. What you want from me?
Right.
You know I'm down to ride. What you want from me? You know I'll sit it right. What you want from me? You know I'm on the mic. What you want from me? I'ma burn it down tonight. What you want from me? You know I'm down to ride. What you want from me? You know I'll sit it right. What you want from me? You know I'm on the mic. What you want from me? I'ma burn it down tonight. I'ma burn it down tonight. I'ma burn it down tonight. I'ma burn it down tonight.
Yeah.
That's what you want from your soul, man.